Alright guys, we're doing a carburetor, fuel lines and primer ball on a troy-bilt tb685ec. Everything will be in the description below. It's a whole kit, everything you'll need. Carburetor, fuel lines, let's dump this guy out there. Everything comes to spark plug. Oh look, you even had two different kinds of spark plugs on it. This one is a bit of a pain in the ass because there's a triple hole primer ball. You got usually there's only just these two, but since this doesn't have a choke arm on it, it's got a third one up here that puts a little bit of fuel into the carburetor so that you can start it with it. These nipples, we won't use these. I put the line right through the gas tank. We only use one filter. Spark plug's fine on it. I'll put these to the side, but if you need one, I think it's going to be the thin one, not the fatter one. So this is basically everything we're going to need right here for this job. Oh, it even has a gasket. You may need that. If you rip your gasket, you're going to need a new one. Alright, so this is not an easy job. It is a pain in the ass. There's a lot of lines. You're going to have to really pay attention to this video, each step by step. There's a lot of stuff that has to come off. It's going to be a pain in the butt, but it is possible for you to do it, I promise. I got a guy that I'm training to do two strokes doing one of these right now. It's his first time, and I'm going to walk him step by step through it as well. So it's not going to be, you're going to be able to do it, I promise. It's just a pain in the butt. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to take this red cover off. It's not going to come you know what, we're going to take it completely off because I know where everything runs, so we'll just take it off. We got T25 torque. It's those little funny star shaped deals you find in your packs all the time. It's T25. We got one here, one there, one here, and one over here. Pop those four out. I believe there might be one on the side here or something too. Oh no, this thing's riveted in over here. That's a pain in the ass. I remember that. Alright, we'll take those four out first. And there's one in the middle right in here too. Here, let me turn that flashlight on. There you go, one right there too. The red cover just kind of slides up off. No big deal. This just gives you a lot better of visibility on what's going on down here. It makes it just a lot easier to really do this thing. Alright, so now we're going to take this air filter off. Then we're going to take off these two T25 torques. Now, you can use a flathead in these two. It's just a pain in the butt. It's so much easier to use the torque. It just fits in there like a Phillips. Way easier. There's another one right here. Is there any more? I think that's it. It's just that other one right here. Long again. Another one right on this side too. And just remove this hose right there. It should just pull right off. Right, so we got a little bit of a view on what's going on here. This fuel line right here, because this is what most everybody's waiting for anyways. This fuel line right here goes to that, is the one that goes to your filter. This goes to your primer ball to push some fuel in. There's one over here on this side goes to your primer ball. That's on your suction side of the primer ball. So on your primer ball, you got two shorts and one long. This goes back to the tank. If you look there's the green line. That's the green line, goes back to the tank. The one with the, see it's got this little divot right here, this extra little nub. That one goes to the top of the carburetor. And the one without the nub on this side right here is suction, suction, and that one goes right there. So that's kind of the whole setup. So we're gonna go ahead, cut off these three lines. I'm just gonna cut them right off because we know where all of them go. I'm gonna take the throttle arm out. It just pops right out, just a little S turn. Just pull it straight out. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this line off right there. We're gonna pull this line straight out because that's just a return line. It broke off, no big deal. So we're gonna just push these through and just poke them through with like a little screwdriver or something so they fall in the bottom of the tank. Then we're going to take and open the tank. Oh, is that put on an impact? We're going to open the tank up and just grab them or dump them out, get all the debris out of the tank. So don't worry about the nipples, we're not going to use them. I save them for when I get the idiots that think they can do their own and they waller out the freaking holes and it's all loose. Then I use these to kind of make the lines a little bit bigger so that I can get it stuck in there sealed. But the line is actually good enough to just slide in there. It's hard to get in and it's a nice tight seal, just the line itself, so I don't even bother with these nipples. We're going to pull this off. We're not even going to put this back on. It's really just more crap to fight with. You squeeze these two nipples together and this whole thing pops out the bottom. Just pops right out. Get that out of there. Now we're going to go ahead and pop the new nipple in. If you see, you got the two side pieces for these nipples, but then you got the extra divot right here, the extra nipple basically. That's going to go like this so that it's on that side there. It'll fit right in like that. Problem with dealing with the cheap Chinese, everything on this is cheap Chinese, just so you know. It's the only way you're going to get these parts is cheap Chinese ones. But the nipples were too big, so I had to trim them down with a razor. They were too wide and they wouldn't fit in this, so I had to trim these down. Let's see if I can get it to focus. I had to trim these down, see, make them narrower with a razor blade so I can make them fit. So you may have to do that. Here, let me get, where's the old one? Oh, the old one. So the old one's got these nice narrow ones. Let me go grab another one. Alright. See how wide this one is right here, the new one. See how narrow the old one is. So I had to trim it down with a razor blade. Just one of those pain in the butt things you gotta do to make things work sometimes, you know. Alright. Fits like it was made to go there. Cut the fuel line off to a point, stick it in this back hole, and you're gonna shove it in there until you can grab it with some needle nose, or you keep pushing it in there until you can grab it with a hook or something and get the fuel line to come out about that far out of the gas tank. Once you get it all the way through, cut the tip off. I had to actually I could only get it in a little bit. I had to use really long needle nose to get in there. One trick I've learned is that if you cut a longer tip, a longer nipple, and you can go lengths if you have to, so where you can reach in with normal needle nose and grab it, and you just gotta gently pull it through, you know, get it to come out to where it's out here and everything. Then you just cut off the tip, and then we're going to go ahead and stab new fuel filter on the end of that, pull it back through until the filter's laying on the bottom of the tank like that. Then you just pull this through this way. It's a tight fit. That's why I say you don't need the nipples on these things. So grab it, pliers if you have to, and just slowly work your way up back in until it's laying on the bottom. Carburetor up, this fuel line is going to go to this nipple, cut it to length. Just stab it on there so I don't have to worry about it again. Then we're going to have a return line going on the next one. Here, we'll just put this cap, where did it go, like that. Just kind of lay this cap in place so when you put the return line in, you can know what length you need it to the primer ball. You cut this into a point, you stick it in, and then with the needle nose again, I just pulled it in about that much. This is just a return line. So we're going to make sure that this comes up and over, and we're going to cut it off somewhere about there. Line right here will go to the long nipple. Then the short nipple that had the extra little tab next to it that went into this space over here, I'm going to put a piece of fuel line, and that one goes to the top nipple right there. Just like that goes to the top nipple. And then you got the suction line. You know, I basically cut what was left over in half. Suction line is going to go all the way over to this nipple here. So we'll pull this back down. Alright, so we're going to hook the throttle cable up. So we've got this just set into kind of place loosely. We've got to figure out where we want this cable. Do we want it on the inside of these two? We got to figure out how this is going to sit down on there, how the cable is going to sit in there, and then how we're going to hook it up. So we're just going to go ahead and do that now. So I found that these two hoses go on the outside of the throttle goes right up in there. Alright, so then we're going to go ahead and get this air filter assembly piece with the 2 bolts in it, stick it through. Make sure you still, oh, this is rubber on this, so it doesn't even need a gasket, I guess. All right, let me look. Yeah, no gasket, just rubber piece, so you're fine. You don't have to worry about the gasket. This way, and we're going to stab it onto the car. Just like that, we're going to get it lined up and screw it in. And then don't forget you got that hose that has the stab on the back of it still. Alright, then you got these 2 bolts here and here. Pop them in. We're going to go ahead and put these 3 bolts in the front and then the 2 bolts in the back. The gas cap back on. Air filter back on. It's got a little barb end. Let me slap this on here first. That might make it a little easier. Then this little barbed end right there will go right up into that hole. Pull it around. Put the wing nut guy back in it. That's it. You're ready to go. Alright guys, this helped you out in any way, shape, or form. Give me a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button. All the parts will be in the description below. Today's t-shirt will be in the description below as well. If you want me to wear some of your apparel, message me. Need some sponsors. Peace.